morning, everyone, and welcome to AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno on this Wednesday, April the 13th. So there's big storms out there right now with a lot of lightning. We're going to track that. We've got big rain coming to the plains this weekend, but we also have a warm-up. Has now gotten worse week over week. Still, you get a couple inches of rain in a short period of time. It could cause some issues. So we got to keep that in mind right through the weekend. Going to see some very heavy rain potential all the way up to Nebraska. Really into the Dakotas, you will see this rain continuing as well. All right, other big weather stories we're tracking across the country. Let's turn it over to at the airport. It's cold in the burbs this morning. We got some frost advisories and freeze warnings up towards Allentown and up into say the White Plains area of New York. However, with a morning like this and as dry as the air is, dew points are in the 20s, we are going to see things really warm up into the afternoon. So nice change coming in from morning to afternoon. This morning is running about 15 degrees colder than yesterday morning. This afternoon more comfortable simply because we've gotten rid of all the clouds and the rain, and when that sunshine is going to feel good. But actual temperatures will still be below average for highs today. The warm up comes our way by later this week into the weekend, and get ready. We'll see the 60s and even 70s returning to our weather maps. And today we've got your Wednesday forecast. Pretty rainy and stormy across a good chunk of the south, right along the Gulf Coast. We've got storms leaving Houston this morning and then tracking right along the Gulf Coast states today. There's going to be more active weather redeveloping tomorrow. We're going to see New Orleans, places like Birmingham, Montgomery staying in it tomorrow, plus some cooler kind of dreary weather for places like Atlanta and Greenville and Spartanburg. Then we look to Friday's weather, and now our weekend weather sets up and gets stuck. Friday starts with storms across the high plains, and then the rain just continues. We're going to see that all the way up into the Dakotas into Sunday. Going to be pretty wet in Dallas as well, but looks fantastic in D.C. for the big cherry blossom parade. It all wraps up this weekend, Anaritis. More comes in tomorrow for places like Oxford, Mississippi, up towards Memphis. Really, that's going to be the story. What we're watching right now is this big old cluster of storms, and we're going to look at the water vapor first to show you it. See these bright colors right here? We see the greens and the blues on the water vapor. This is where we have some tall thunderstorms. These thunderstorms are topping out at more than 45,000 feet, and there's a lot of lightning, a lot of convection with this batch of thunderstorms. There's also that upper level low, which I might have gone to as well, still actually centered across West Texas. So that upper level low is on the move, which is what will help keep us kind of cloudy and wet into Texas and into eventually Tennessee and Mississippi and Alabama. But let's focus on this. This is the here and now, and this is a cluster of thunderstorms. We're watching the Houston area with a lot of the lightning now offshore, but you still have some wet weather out there. So west and southwest of town, south of town, get ready. There's still rain yet to come. But the main event is right here, moving right along the Gulf Coast. Lake Charles, big lightning. The lightning strikes have been on the order of 200 strikes per minute. So tremendous lightning, loud thunder, no doubt, on this Wednesday morning. And we've got some pockets of thunderstorms setting up out ahead of the main event. Baton Rouge, one on your doorstep. New Orleans, just to your south. We're getting some thunderstorms right now. So let's track this east today. We see where it is right now. We've got a stationary front in the area, and this thing is probably going to follow right along it. That's what these clusters of storms often do. We track it all the way along the Gulf Coast. This is overnight tonight, moving over to Jacksonville, and then there'll be additional showers and storms that pop through the day tomorrow. So we're in for a pretty active time here, at least the next couple of days across this area. And then the storms roll. So let's talk about the thunder that is going to roll here. We've got the setup coming to the plains is actually getting its start across the west. And when we take a look at what's going on for you in the west, we've actually got a couple of spins out here, but it's that one in the northern Gulf of Alaska. I think that's going to eventually be the upper level low that drives into the southwest, and that becomes our weather maker for not just Friday, but also for Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and possibly into Wednesday as well. Look what happens. This thing digs in, gets stuck. So big dip in our jet stream. It is going to mean cooler temperatures underneath it, but also some active weather with this upper level low as well. Big old ridge that blocks everything up here that sets up across the eastern 2/3 of the country. But underneath it, we get moisture trapped. And there's going to be a surface high pressure over the Ohio Valley that helps pull up moisture for several days. So plenty of moisture potential. And as long as this upper level low is here, there's plenty of things to use that moisture and make it rain. And that's what we're going to see. We start off with thunderstorms, possibly severe weather. And we'll see that on Friday from the Texas Panhandle right up into eastern Colorado, western Kansas and Nebraska as well. Thunderstorms thunderstorms are going to fire potentially all the way up into the Dakotas as temperatures actually do really warm up out ahead of it. Now, there'll be cold air, though, trapped underneath that upper level low as well. So you'll see some mountain snow. Places like Denver, it's more rain for you, though up in elevation, this is the kind of setup that really could bring some big snow. So any late season skiers, that's some news for you. We look at the rain potential. This continues into Sunday. So we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're going to keep the rain as well. Even into Tuesday, I think we could still see some showers across this area. So it adds up. I mean, we put this into motion, and this is the QPF, or the precipitation forecast. We've got on the order of 3 to 5 inches of rain. This happens to be an area that could use it. The drought has certainly gotten worse here, but too much at once could cause flooding. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on.
Especially with the dry ground
out there as we take you into the forecast starting today with the big cluster of storms that we're tracking right here across the Gulf Coast. So storms on the move today. There's still more showers back into Dallas, but luckily we're kind of done with the big hail threat for the time. Although this is not going to help with people who have big blue tarps on their roofs because of holes due to softball-sized hail. Rain gets out of Dallas for you on Thursday. It's our one-day break until the next big weather starts to come on in. Friday's a warm and humid day with southerly winds pumping in the moisture, and storms then come in by the weekend, and that's going to continue getting all the way into the area by Sunday. All right, coming up, we've got the latest on this icy pile. Right,
because
it's just moving, right?
Yeah, shattering. You don't know where it's coming from. It's pretty cool.
All right, so today we are going to talk about the warm-up actually coming, but first we're going to start with the storms that are starting your morning along the Gulf Coast. Big thunderstorms with lightning, a lot of lightning out there. I mean, what a light show that we have had right there, right along the Texas Gulf Coast, Louisiana as well. We're tracking this cluster of storms, and it's been ongoing actually all night long. We saw it earlier in the evening and overnight here across South Texas around the San Antonio area and Bexar County, bringing teacup-sized hail. Now, right now, it's not really a hail-producing thunderstorm, but maybe some strong winds up over 40 or 50 miles per hour. And we're also looking at that lightning as a big threat as well. Moving out of the Houston area, and you can see actually as we take a look at our radar where we've got this line, this kind of bowing out line. I should have picked a different color. Red's not the best one to pick. Let's do white. You see how it's kind of bowing out like this? This indicates some strong winds that are going to push sort of with that. We're going to be looking for some strong gusty winds as well as the lightning, and the heavy rain is the main threat this morning. And we track these storms along. New Orleans now, storms rolling into the area. So these are a couple of cells out ahead of this bigger line that's coming on in, and it's right along I-10. No doubt this is a ride that with just torrential rain that you can't even see. Your windshield wiper is hard to keep up with this kind of rain that we're dealing with here. So tracking this cluster of thunderstorms, that's going to keep on rolling along a stationary front that we have across the Gulf Coast. So New Orleans, we've got this big cluster coming in about lunchtime, continuing to press east right through the afternoon. Look at this, Panama City by about 5-6 o'clock coming your way, and then tonight about midnight, Jacksonville, that same cluster is heading into your area. And then tomorrow we've got another round of storms popping. This often happens. We get these old boundaries that just get stuck, and clusters of storms form, and they roll right along those boundaries. Big upper level low still across portions of West Texas today, and as that goes on the move, it's going to help continue to trigger some showers and some thunderstorms into the next 2 days. So rain still yet to come, with really the potential of 2 big clusters of storms. Could be about 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 inches of rain right along the Gulf Coast. New Orleans, we keep a rainy forecast today, tomorrow, into Friday, even into Saturday. The first half of the day still could see some showers out there, and then we'll get a little bit of a brief break before more rain comes back in. All right, in the meantime, we do have a big warm-up coming too.
Yeah, especially